Hey everyone, Jessica Coulter here, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. And today I want to talk to you about remote learning and how to dry those tears. I know that I'm not the only one who has seen those posts online from parents that have kids doing remote learning right now and have seen the post about kids crying just for the fact that it's too much. They're overwhelmed, their anxiety is through the roof. So I want to address those concerns and maybe hopefully help some kiddos and kind of keep those tears from falling in the first place. So if this message is relevant to you, you've got a kiddo doing remote learning, tap that like a heart button for me. If you've got a kiddo really not liking remote learning, there's some personal connection with this message, the idea of getting really emotionally upset, let me know in the comments below if you'd like to. So, before we jump into kind of how to, like I said, dry those tears concerned to remote learning, I want to introduce myself. Again, my name's Jessica Coulter, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. I work as a substitute teacher here in Kansas, so I have a lot of in-person, if you can call it in-person, through the computer experience, so a lot of first-hand knowledge of remote learning. I also work with students online and in person with 3 different specialties, the ACT, middle school math, as well as proofreading. So I work with students at 3rd grade and beyond, all the way up through adults in grad school. I help with a lot of different subjects. Just ask if you're curious and if you got some questions. So I want to kind of jump into it. So what can you do as a parent to help your kiddo out? What can you do to prevent those tears, to help your child get through remote learning? Well, this first idea is pretty drastic. So if you've kind of reached the end, you just have decided remote learning is just never going to work. You've kind of given up hope that your child's school is going to allow in-person learning before we end the school year. Maybe the answer is homeschooling. Maybe the answer is K-12 or some other online program, because there are ways to do remote or do online that is all going to be online and would not be Zoom, it would not be WebEx, it would not be anything through a public school, private school, something that is normally in person. So if that was, something your child needed, there are all sorts of options, okay? So some kind of online program, you just, like I said, with K-12 is what I'm familiar with. They have different schools in different states, so you could give them a call, kind of go through their process, see if there's anything that you or your child could partake in. Also, no, homeschooling is an option. You could join a pod, you could join a cohort. There are tutors like myself that are offering homeschooling lessons. So that might be something you need to look into for second semester. I know that's going to take a lot of energy, a lot of effort on your part, mom and dad. So it is kind of really up to you and your child's needs and your budget, your time. So if that is not where you want to go, if you don't want to go that drastic, that's not what you want to have happen for the rest of the school year, stay tuned. I've got some ways for your kiddos to make it through classes with fewer tears. So before we do that, though, just want to let you know, if you want to kind of take the shortcut, you just want some one-on-one help, give me a call. The phone number is in the description, 913-938-6344. Would love to talk to you and just kind of work through some of your pains and struggles and figure out how I can help you and your child do better and have a better experience with remote learning. So here we go. Idea number 2. If you're not wanting to go, totally homeschooling or online program, you just want to stick to remote learning. You're hoping and holding out for school to come back in a session, or you just want to make it better for what the situation currently is, I encourage some emotional literacy. Okay? So what I mean by that, unfortunately, not all kiddos are great at explaining their feelings, expressing those feelings. They don't really understand what they're feeling. They don't know how to tell you, Mom, what's going on. They don't know how to kind of communicate with their teachers, hey, I'm getting overwhelmed, hey, I'm feeling anxious, I'm upset. So that is kind of step number 1. So I'm not really a psychologist, a kind of psychiatrist, any of that. So I can't kind of give you the real ways of doing that. I just know that those feelings of overwhelm and anxiety are real, and I know remote learning is causing some of those feelings to come to the surface in the form of tears. So, something to consider, and this I know kind of depends on the school, depends on the teacher. Maybe the camera shouldn't be on, maybe the camera should be off. It just depends on your child's needs. In my other videos, I have encouraged the camera to be on for the sake of interaction. But I know if your child gets really upset in class, if we were in person and he or she cries, and just needs a break, he or she can go outside in the hall, take a breather, go to the restroom, whatever it is. Well, if you're online, on Zoom, or some other form, and everyone gets to see you having a meltdown, it's a little bit more embarrassing than just getting to leave the classroom. So maybe camera on or off needs to be something you guys think about and decide. So here we go. I'm going to move on to another idea here about how to make remote learning better and to stop those tears. But before we do, just want to check in. If you're watching, so glad to have you. If you are watching on Facebook and you haven't followed my business page, would love to have you as a follower. Also know if you're on YouTube watching this, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you are aware when I am posting my videos. So here we go, guys. Let's talk about the next way to make those tears stop falling. All right, we're remote learning, so that means everybody's at home. What I encourage you to help your child achieve is to really separate school from home. So in the past, before March of last year, or March of last school year, I should say, when you came home from school, you left school at school. Yes, you brought home homework, yes, you brought home your backpack, whatever supplies, but now school is at home. So the teachers, want the kids to have their cameras on, they want them to log in at a certain time, whatever the requirements are. So unfortunately, school and home are now the same. But if you're able to create some kind of separation, that will help your child and help those kind of feelings, those emotions, for the sake of, well, if I'm here, I'm in school, but if I'm over here, I can play with these toys. I can play on the computer and do whatever games I want to do. Or if I want to go do this, I can do that without being in school. So maybe that means if you have the space at home to do so, have your kids have an office of their own. Or maybe, just keep your kid off of his or her bed. Because I gotta tell you, when I see kids laying on their beds during classes, I know they're not really engaged because they're still thinking, I'm at home, I'm just watching TV, I'm just watching a movie, I'm chilling, I'm relaxing. You've got to help your child realize school is here, home is here. Okay, I know there are space limitations, so maybe it just comes down to you have to sit in this chair during school, or maybe you have to sit in this particular corner of your room and you create some whatever temporary, permanent barricade you think your child needs in order to get the mindset of school. Okay, and also the whole idea of being in school versus being at home, at least when it comes to mindset and stopping those emotions of, frustration or anxiety when it comes to the tears. Maybe have your child be prepared. And if you're at school, you don't get to run over to this cubby and grab a pencil. You don't get to go, I need to go grab this from the living room. No, you need to be prepared. You need to have what you need to have for class when class starts. Okay? So I've got one more tip for you here. So hang out with me. Just kind of want to do another check-in. I know this video is a little longer, so if you've missed out, I wanted to let you know that I am encouraging people to take some steps to hopefully make remote learning better. I have that in this video as well as other videos. I'm doing kind of a whole remote learning series. So definitely, if you're tuning in, great to have you. Just tap that like or heart button for me. Let me know you're there and enjoying the video. And if you want to tell me, below in the comments what you're thinking about remote learning or what your current experience is, or maybe even what you're looking for some help, so I can kind of generate certain materials and videos specific to your needs. Would love to know. Just let me know down below, whatever you feel like sharing. So, last idea here before I say goodnight to you all, and can hope you have a better week with remote learning, is some students just don't know their technology basics. So what I mean by this, so you're in a class, you have Zoom, you're supposed to be in history at 10:05. where you just can't log on. Something's not working, your password, your computer's locked up, whatever is happening. So step number one would be just turn off your computer. Give it a chance to restart. And I got to tell you, that will solve a lot of issues. Okay? Also, will tell you that, your teacher might be having the same issues, whether it's your class 3 days from now, or a week ago. We all know that computers are computers, internet is internet. So don't get really upset. Don't freak out. Don't cry. There's no need to if you're having trouble with technology. Just try to remember to take a deep breath and do the best you can and get to class when you can. You can't have technology issues every day, but once in a blue moon, we all go through that. We all understand that. Also, realize if you're trying to get your computer started and you're missing something in class, well, while you're rebooting your computer, then maybe take some time to write down some questions that you have. If you knew today was about X amount, if you're in this particular subject, think about class from the other day, kind of review what you learned, and then see if you have any questions about what you didn't understand that day or what you're going to wonder if you learned today. Because you can always ask the teacher that later, maybe in class, once you do get logged in, you can send an email, maybe mom or dad can send an email. There are other ways to get the information you need that you might be missing while you're having technical difficulties. So guys, that's everything I have for you. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I really do hope that the anxiety levels of your kiddos can go down this weekend. I know tears during class are not fun, let alone during remote learning. So if you need some help, you don't want to take that, like I said, the shortcut, figure out exactly kind of personal suggestions for your child and remote learning, give me a call, 913-938-6344. Would love to help your child stop crying during remote learning, figure out what's causing those feelings of frustration and kind of emotional upset, and make remote learning better and more fun. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.